Good turnaround Tuesday, everybody. It's Dale Pinkert, aka some people call me Coach. I didn't like it when people first started calling me Coach because Mike, that means that you're not playing the game anymore.
Oh, that's why I stopped having everybody calling me Master. Are we online? Are we ready? I think we're live.
We are live, Mike.
Okay, good morning.
Anyway, so we're making it official. Mike is a great trader. But the key ingredient for a great trader is humility.
Yeah.
So, he doesn't want to be called master trader. He just wants to make his money in a closet and help as many people as possible. A lot of people care a lot about fame, Mike. But you know what I found out? And I've interviewed thousands of people. It's not always the most famous that are the best at pulling equity out of the market. They might be good marketers, but it doesn't mean that they know how to trade. That's what I've learned in my journey.
Well, I've been trading at a high level, doing the same thing, if you will. And I was highly trained, do the research. And I was given the ball, I ran with it, don't get me wrong. But with that being said I would say the first 8 years of my career, I knew how to trade. And after that, I learned how to trade and make money. There's a difference. Some people know how to pick football. Some people just don't know how to bet football. I always grew up around the racetrack, if you will. And getting back to famous and everything, my dad was what you would call a semi-famous person. We went out to dinners. People would ask him for his autograph, literally. And the attention bothered him. And quite honestly, it didn't bother me. It's not a cop-out. I'll be on the screen. I'll help as many people as possible, but only if it's in my universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So either me or you are getting an alert. So, Mike, why don't you take us through your process? So you come in the morning, and I want to talk to you about. We're in the melt up, right, in this market. Like I heard you talking yesterday. Doesn't matter. You could throw an atom bomb at this market. You'll get a 2-day dip. You got to buy it. So when you're in the melt up phase, is it time to really put the pedal to the metal during a blow off? And because these are the times where your huge percentage moves occur near the blow off phase of a market. And it sure looks like a melt up to me, Mike. And you may want to tune in for our guest. I know you're not a market forecaster, you're a trader, but he's looking for 5,300 S&Ps sometime for first half.
Well, I posted on TradeGATEHub this morning that Kaskin from JP Morgan
I saw that.
And I posted, it says JP Morgan called for 5,000 the first half of the year. Kramer, I posted because Kramer.
Okay.
So I just try to paraphrase what he says so everybody doesn't have to listen for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree. But the melt up I treated, you know what? I'm just straight up. I traded the opposite. Melt ups or create liquidity where people can get out of good positions. And I'll give you an example. This is TradeGATEHub, but let me show you my universe, if I will. I hope you could see that. If not, I'm gonna.
Got it. We have your monitor.
This is my universe.
I don't know. How do you follow all these things?
Yeah, it's just the same. How do you stay married to the same woman for 26 years? I stare at it every day. Yeah, it gets to be a personality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
So this is my general universe. I mean, I could take a step back, if you will. Retail, Bitcoin, banks, gold, oils.
Yesterday, Mike, I was watching your show, and I'm looking for 2% 10-year yields by year end. That's a pretty bold call, but the banks really didn't do anything, and yields have shot up pretty good. 10-year got up to near 160. It's one of the first times I haven't seen the banks respond well to the bond market selling off and yields. It could be that the curve is flattening while yields are going up. I'm not sophisticated enough to know. I don't look at the spreads that way, but what's wrong with the banks that they're not taking advantage of this move in yields?
There are other sectors that are taking advantage of yields, other sexier stocks that are taking advantage in yields. And
all right,
I'm just saying that. Come on, that's good.
And why would yields have anything to do with some of the issues you're going to pull up? I'm interested in how they
Because
connect.
it's a lot of times the yields go with technology as well. You know,
Okay.
yields go up, technology. That's the rotation.
That's
That will
supposed to
show
be
you that
deleterious to large mega cap, higher yields.
it's not. It's well, Helene will tell you. It's the price action is telling you differently. It's not a cerebral market that way, Dale. You know, you get that's where you get the ego and you get stubborn. And I also use this a lot of times in. It's an old cliche that we used to use at Schoenfeld when we were traders instead of analysts. You know, I'll leave that to the professionals. But you know, I'll get back to the banks. I'm serious.
Yeah, you're just banging out, making money trading. You're
Well,
right.
I don't you know what
I had
I
different
don't
training than you, Mike. I completely different training, even though I was in a room and I was on the floor. I had to learn how to read charts and call markets to attract capital. So that's how I cut my teeth, was being an analyst. And let me tell you one thing. It's much easier being an analyst than a trader. Okay. I think a lot of people are better analysts, but then when the emotion of money comes into it and your psychology comes into it, it's different when you're in and you have skin in the game.
well,
Don't you think?
it's the proverbial put your money where your mouth is, and that's why well, by the way, I don't want to wholeheartedly defend myself, but I will to a minor degree. I mean, I don't know what the age gap here is. I could definitely tell by the karaoke song you're singing. It's more than I think it may be, but you know, I grew up I highly educated and I had economic degrees and blah, blah, blah. So I get it. It just hurts
It hurts your ears.
no, it does. It's just, I think, you know, if everything, it's just, it goes back to everything would trade at book value then, you know what I mean? I think the majority of the game is I think more of the
All
game
of it
is psychological and qualitative than quantitative. So why am I going to care? I don't know. If you put a gun to my head right now, I couldn't tell you the price, the PE ratio of the top 10 stocks out there. I don't know if I should or I shouldn't, but I mean, you look at my P&L the past year, I made money in all of them. Does it really matter? I don't know. But you know,
well, I had a guy tell me that if I don't remember the last price of anything I trade, I'm trading too many instruments.
that's not
Do you
well.
do you remember
Well,
the last price of the 10,000 issues you follow?
yes, I do.
Wow.
I do. And I'm not
Okay.
saying, and hold on, I'm not saying it's the key to being a good trader. I'm just being asking, you know,
Say,
asking a question. And that might be all the years of looking at the tote board at the racetrack with, you know, watching these numbers change. I got
you
in
have
it
like a
because
photographic memory.
my memories, I did a lot of things to my mind since then. It started out that way. Now it's just muscle memory, if you will.
Okay.
But
All right. So the headline says missiles. Well, you're going to show us some, because I heard you talking about some individual issues you had positions on, and you're watching that had like 200% increase in volume and ranges expanding dramatically.
well,
And you know, a lot of people don't even know what these stocks are. I mean, you know, they're used to,
you
you
don't
know,
have
like I
to.
said, you know, I trade ARP stocks,
I
right? You
saw
know,
this
now like
LI right
ARP
before.
is like Facebook, I mean Meta and Microsoft. So I'm in the senior citizen stock. So we want the millennial stocks here, bro, that have the kind of volume. Show them that, you know, you could have the same kind of beta in some of the issues you trade, Mike,
Yeah.
that they have in crypto.
Well, listen, you want with the melt up, there's something going on here, and that's that a lot of stocks are crowded, and everybody's jumping onto the handful of same stocks. And if you follow TradeGATEHub, let me go to a daily chart. It's no, you know, you don't. If you're listening to this outside of a relative of mine, you have to really know what's going on. So we're really all chasing you. Everybody's chasing Asan. Everybody's chasing DocU or DOCN. So, you know what? That's why these Apples and the Microsofts of the world really, or Amazon. I actually just bought Amazon the other day. I am long Amazon, by the way. Facebook just broke out too, but that pause. And Facebook, I'm long as well. To make a, you know, there are more. The melt up is because of a lot of story stocks. It's no surprise of what Lucid Motors is doing.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, that's the hottest. I mean,
it's because of Tesla.
It is, but you know what? LI, which I liked, I sold this morning for some reason. I had it.
I'd be
still
out
like
of
it.
that prior one. It looks like a 3-drive to a top formation if you just go back to I think it was Lucid. So you see that you have
Yeah.
1, 2 making the 3rd drive up here, this candle.
Oh, interesting. Well, you know
Okay.
what? Riven right now.
That's a formation I learned in the 70s.
Well, I was started in the 80s. That's why I was absent that day. Or I wasn't even
When
thought of that day.
now
So
my
Riven
left
is
foot's in
obviously
the tar pit.
Jesus. Riven is obviously the one that everybody's driving. It's the IPO. So that's the one you watch two. If you're trading these EV stocks, Lucid came out with earnings today. Tesla's obviously the best of breed, if you will. And Riven is the IPO, which had options. I believe it's trading today for the first time. So that's the sector that, and Blink, listen, QS is the battery stock. We talked about the melt up, and the stock has gone in a week from 32 to 43. And today it got downgraded to underweight. I actually wanted to buy it. This is a 2-day chart. I actually wanted to buy it this morning to a degree, but then I look how the other stocks were doing. Like Blink is the one that when they tried to take, or short squeeze, or whatever you want to call this one, they tried to take up this Blink.
What was that one spud that fell 20-30% yesterday? Is that
That's
the name
Mara.
of
I
it?
had it short overnight. Mara, which is the best of breed crypto, but they came out with the 3 words you don't want to hear, or the 3 letters, SEC. And they had an investigation. And that's what Mara did yesterday, going from 67 to 50. And then obviously you watched Riot, if you were half aware, that one opened down. So what I'm being, the melt up is predicated upon everybody hopping on the same amount, the same stocks.
People are ignoring marijuana stocks. What do you think, Mike?
Okay, I'll tell you what happened. CGC, I took a stab at yesterday. CGC yesterday. First of all, I look at GRWG, which was the proverbial best of breed, if you will. Actually, it's the one I think is also added into the S&P. That did nothing. That was the one-day wonder. I looked at Crone. That's the short squeeze, if you will. Yesterday, Crone had a high of 640. And literally, if it wanted to have its day, it wouldn't opened up its whatever at 640 was pre-market at 615 and dropped back to 560. Wow. That was it. If it wanted to show, and I went with another one, Kern, which was the ultimate squeeze stock. So I'm said to myself, they even said it in the room. If Kern, and by the way, Kern has it in it. Within the past year, it's went to 11. And by the way, if I go to a 5-year chart, it went to 100. Believe me, that's a splitter. Believe me, trust me on that. So I'm saying Kern, if Kern opens at 386, and if they wanted to take it up to even 5, they could have. The open was the top. So, and then I looked at CGC, which by the way is the best of breed. And it's the only one which is at least holding above the 8-day, the 21-day. So so it went from 1615. I took a shot yesterday at 1660, I believe, or 1460. And that was it. So you know what? And I actually took it off my screen. It's going off my screen today. So I have no interest in them really anymore. I'm not saying that's a bottom or a top, but I don't have any interest in the marijuana stocks anymore. If they're going to squeeze or if they're going to go to this proverbial January effect, let them go without me. I don't care. There's so many other sexy sectors.
All right, give me 2 or 3 that are your favorite right now.
Which ones?
Your 2 or 3 favorite sectors.
I like the solar sectors. I like
solar.
TAN. Yeah, I do.
EV.
I like TAN. I like EV, and I like. You know what? I like some retail. Believe it or not, I do. I like some retail.
Okay.
I like the way Macy's is holding up here. Macy's should have pulled back after that tremendous run. Kohl's is starting to wake up. I certainly wouldn't short it. Even the
Have
RSI.
you been into any retail stores, Mike, lately?
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty good traffic. Everyone's out. It feel normal to you?
Well, I'll be in New York City. I'm up in upstate New York right now as we speak. I'll be in New York City on Wednesday and Thursday. And you know what? I will go into retail stores. And quite honestly, I don't want to act like some big shot manager, but I do pay attention. I do.
You do some gumshoe stuff. That's what guys used to do.
And I also do the amount of what I feel that I'm willing to spend. And by the way, I'm spending. I'm in a spending mode. And I don't mean to sound egregious or not.
A mentee of mine lives in Houston. And he likes going to nice restaurants, enjoys eating good food. Right. And his restaurant indicator is he's going into restaurants now, and they're still fairly full. But on the table, people are drinking water. A lot of people drinking water, which means even the people that can afford it are getting a little tighter on themselves. And because the bar tab's always more than the meal anyway.
No,
So there's your restaurant indicator.
well, I understand that. And this is the way I look at it. Maybe we get off the trading topic. I don't think we're going to apologize for it. It's just after everybody being inside for COVID for so
Yeah.
long,
Yeah.
nobody, it's not like let's go out. It's almost it's a treat. So you
Yeah.
almost plan it in terms of a vacation, and people
Yeah.
a little bit more finicky with decisions. I'm not even saying about price. I'm saying about they're taking more time. And by the way, I think it's the same with retail. I'm doing the same. And I'm not the judge and the jury, but
Yeah.
getting with the melt up and what I posted.
When you're out there, will you buy me a sweatshirt like that you have? And
with this
mail
one?
it to me? Yeah.
Yeah, if you want,
I
I'll
like
give it
it.
to you. I'll sell it to you. I'll mail
All
it
right.
to
Well,
you.
I wear a large.
Well, I don't wear, believe me, I don't wear,
All right.
I wear
I'm
a lot. I
you know,
have,
I'm a
I have to
little-
have, I'll have 14 layers on by the time I wear a large, believe
That's
me.
right. Those winters.
So you know what? I think the melt up, let's get back to my main page here and see what they're doing at the second.
You know, I want to invite everyone that's listening to come into our main chat room and hang out with us and learn from Mike and ask him questions. In fact, if you know, my bailiwick is FX and CFDs and
MTTR was the hottest
legacy
stock on
markets.
MTDR was the hottest stock on the board yesterday. It's in the metaverse. It went from 2290 to 27. I actually called it out in the room yesterday. Major range on huge volume. Today they opened it in the hole. And what was it? Where did they close this? Around 25, probably around the option price, 25.
So you bought that dip towards 21?
I didn't buy it towards 21. I did buy Facebook this morning because of it.
Okay.
And I did buy Roblox.
What is Meta, Mike?
Meta is
What is it?
It's you ever see the movie Lawnmower Man?
Yeah.
It's almost like creating that it's creating another universe, a parallel universe. It's in other words, it's like it's a Facebook full of avatars. You can create whoever you want. It's almost like NFTs. People are paying money for millions for these digital art. There's going to be the same of you paying for a specific avatar. Somebody's going to want to buy a Justin Bieber avatar to be his best friend in the metaverse, if you will, for whatever amount of money. And that's why it's happening.
Well,
I don't know if believe me, there are a lot more millennials on I'm sure on here. I'm sure I'm getting pinged left and right that I didn't describe.
Yeah, I don't think Justin would be my first choice.
It would, but you know what? The kid commands money. That's all I'm saying. Look at Pete Ton.
I love you, bro. All right, so you know, we're looking at what's happening here, and oil has been stubborn. You know, gold had a pretty good run, Mike. I think you did pick up some of the miners. What are you thinking here? Are they holding their breakouts?
They are holding their breakouts. They are. This is for a G. Let's look at the GLD.
Yeah, it's holding it.
It's
got a little down day today.
For the GLD to make that move, and then have a range of $1.
Bullish. Yeah,
that's incredible. I'd be nervous. That's a springboard. I'd be nervous if I was shorted. So let's again go to the stocks that we like. Newmont, which was arguable anymore if it's the best of breed, that's still below the 200-day. KL, which has been a favorite of TradeView, and it's a long-term position for some time. By the way, that's the one you want to buy going over 47.
What do you think of Yamana, AUY?
I like AU better. AU is the one. That's the one that, well, let me look at AU. I haven't looked at it. It's okay. It's okay. I like AUY, but I like AU better.
Okay.
And if we're going to go outside of, the outside or international, if you will, well, AEM, look at that one. I'm surprised that didn't move. But listen, the bottom line of what I like are KL, Newmont. You have to do it because if it does go, you don't want to be left behind. What's going on in my charts? AU.
Anything in silver, AG?
I like EXK.
EXK for silver. Let's see that one.
Yeah, that's the
one.
one.
Yeah, nice.
And I think FSM is the other one I like. I haven't looked at it. No. Whoa, what happened? No, I don't like that. EXK I like. AGQ if you want to try the triple ETF, not bad. And if you want to go back to GLD and not put so much money into it and have something on my move, I'm not really.
Also even looks better. Yeah.
Which one?
GLD looks better than the silvers.
It does. Then go to one of these ETF. Go to Nugget. That looks like it's on the springboard.
Yeah.
That's a triple ETF. Beware, I'm not. It's not the best. You go lightly. Or you can go JUNG. The other one looks just as good. Or if you want to short them, or you think they're going down, buy dust or
Okay,
JDST.
there's an important lesson on these miners I want to talk about
Go ahead,
because
sure.
we've been talking about them for about a month.
Yeah, GDXJ. By the way,
And we finally got to the point where I had you look at them and you said I wouldn't short them. And then you didn't miss anything by not buying the bottom.
No.
And that's the point I want to make, that even if you don't buy the bottom, and I used to think this too, I didn't get short near the highs, I didn't get long near the lows, I missed it. No, now you have more reason, because now you're getting technical confirmation that what you thought could develop is manifesting. It's real now, and you have a real place to put a stop or know where you're wrong. And the best traders I know are the ones that wait for confirmation, and the ones that have my tendencies to try and get the edge, but they don't their hit rate isn't as high because they're not waiting for confirmation. What do you think of that? You waited.
Well, listen, you want to try to be early, but obviously you want to be early. You want to be early and pull back in uptrends. It's
yeah.
You know what? Some of the, I mean, except for the handful of stocks that I've been trading. Look at this Blaze, another one, this IPO I missed.
Oh God.
This is one I missed and I'm upset about, actually, right there through the flag. 28, right to 29. It's a hot stock, new issue, fresh money. Anyway, they're yelling at me for not trading. You know what? It hurts to look at GRWG. I just looked at this, talk about the pot stock. RWG.
So everyone, you could come and watch Mike's broadcasts.
You know what, Coach? I'm sorry. I can do many things at once. I would rather listen. Buying breakouts sometimes aren't the best because they usually fool you. They usually buy the rip and dip, and then you need confirmation, and everybody gets frustrated. It takes a little bit of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It takes the better cup and handles and the better breakout take a little bit of time. You don't want them to explode and pull the one-day wonders.
Right.
Agree?
The tincture of time. The longer the base, the higher the launch into space. Correct. Louise Yamada, I believe.
Yeah, she just passed away.
She stole it from me.
You kidding me?
No, I'm not.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Really, Coach?
Yeah, I said first.
Metaverse, inclusive virtual internet. There we go.
I'm good. She'll be in my metaverse, and we'll have a discussion about it someday.
I will. Thanks, OFG.
You want to? You can mediate. So anyway, look at that gold break today. Anyway, Mike, I learn a lot every time I hang out with you and talk to you. Know that yields, too cerebral. And just trading the action. I'm wondering if there's anything with winter coming up over there, how the nat gas stocks acting.
Yeah, snow.
Because they went through a corrective period. Maybe it's time.
UNG had a bottom. Look at it today.
See, that was a nice correction.
It was. I looked at it. Yes, I looked at it 2 days ago, and the RSI.
Yeah.
Was like a 20. I looked at it.
Looks like an ABC.
But I did buy Clear. I did buy CLR.
It looks good too.
That's not acting as well as it should. SU is not acting. CPE, I'm long it for some reason. CPE gave me a false breakout. That's the false breakout. I'm waiting for this to pull the springboard. This stock I was long a lot yesterday, a lot of shares of. And let me go to 2 days ago.
Weren't you talking about Cheniere?
LNG. No, LNG I've been long for some time. That's LNG.
All right.
Yeah, I was talking about CPE. I've had it the past couple of days. It's tried to fake me out. Yesterday,
you use heating oil in your house up there, and
I use propane.
Propane, that's right.
Yeah. And I'm on the plan.
My house. Yeah.
Okay. So, any other questions from anybody?
Anything you want to wrap it up with?
Well, okay. Listen, I'm watching you. You had a convertible offering. I'd like to see how that holds in. That was a good buy in the hole. Boy, they got that down to 187 and went to 185. There was some good trades this morning. Listen, AMD has been the best of breed. You want to see how the leaders hold up. If they don't, this is either a rollover or a flag. Nevada, which has been the best of breed. You want to see if this flag is going to continue. Amazon, which I just took a position with, I want to see this hold in a little bit. Crypto miners, Mara. Well, listen, I see Lewis see crypto miners. Go with coin. You know what? I certainly wouldn't be. I don't like Mara here. I don't anything that has S.
Hey, Mike, if I wanted you to manage some of my funds,
Yeah.
Would it be an individual account, or do you have a fund where, I just become a shareholder in it?
No, become a fund of a shareholder.
Okay.
A fund of a shareholder. We
What's
have
minimum investment in the fund?
Well, it depends on the person. It's a kind of a boutique. I don't really. The 100,000 is minimum normally.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right.
So with that being said, I see Riot right there, Lewis, is right on the 200 day. If I were to do anything right now, Riot would be the one that I would go. Mara, as I said before, I wouldn't touch it because of the SEC investigation. Only time will tell if that turns out to come to fruition, if it's true or not. Certainly, if it's not true, that's the one that's going to go back up the most. But we'll look at the HUT, which is the one we belong. That's holding in well. You want to see that base in the 13 level and probably go through the flag of 15. It's had its move. It's going to take a little while to repair because a news like Mara that comes out like this, it's going to do a little bit more damage to the other ones than you would like. So look at BITO, which of course is the Bitcoin trust. You know what I mean? You want to take a stab? You want to take a stab at the Bitcoin trust here when it started that gap at 38? I wouldn't talk you out of it. I wouldn't marry it, certainly. But the BITO is one I would think of right here at 38. That is catching the falling knife, but it is Bitcoin. And if you want to do it, that's the spot. So there I am.
I'm hearing a lot of market chatter, Bitcoin 50 G's first, then 75 to 100.
No, I wouldn't. I've heard the same.
Yeah.
I'm not going to trade it that way because I'm going to, my eyes are, I'm not going to trade it that way, but I've heard it as well. I don't necessarily know that once again, it's going to come to fruition, but I've heard the same.
Well, Mike, thanks so much for your time. I know busy market and stuff. And, sometimes doing interviews and broadcasts distract you from trading. And appreciate you sharing.
No, it's all good.
Sharing what you're doing with everyone. Do you think it's possible, like, say, for example, I'd be overwhelmed with your menu where I could narrow it down and have something, a smaller universe?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because I think a lot of people don't have the capacity that you have for absorbing information and retaining it. Okay. But I think that like some type of drill down version of this where you pick a few keys out of each sector of your list would be enough, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would, but and I'm going to give you a key. And anybody always listen. If the TTD always keep the best of breeds on your screen, or I keep an ancillary screen right here. Keep another screen if you don't want to get overwhelmed. Keep a handful of stocks right here. Like if you don't want to have all these retailers, keep Target and Walmart.
Right.
And then behind it, keep then Macy's and do other ones. But certainly, obviously, keep the best of breed. By the way, I don't think my screen is that. I can, from what I understand of my peers, this is one of the less is better screens, if you will. This is not considered a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
For example, if you want to trade, let's give an example, Chinese stocks, which are right here where my cursor is. Yeah. I mean, there are 20, 30 good, sexy ones. So Baba, JD, Billy, PDD, SE, and FETU are those, I don't know how many more you can eliminate.
Yeah.
Being oil stocks, there are 50 of them. Chevron, Devon, Fang, Exxon, and Clear maybe you could take off if you want. But I keep these are actually pretty narrow because I know if I look at gold, there are 50 of them like the Matrix come by below me if I want to, if that would be here. But you can narrow down. But this is a pretty good And I'm not, I'm not, once again, I'm not, this is a good screen. This is a good screen, and my ego
Okay.
is not saying any differently.
All right.
I would, this is a good screen.
You know, use what works for you. We tell everyone. So whatever works for you. Mike, thanks a lot. Great batting around the markets with you, and see you next Tuesday. Could catch Mike this week. When you gonna be back on, buddy?
I'll be on, today's Tuesday.
Yes. Turn around
Tomorrow,
Tuesday.
11 o'clock. I've been on we do I'm on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 11 Eastern. We do our meetings at 10 Easterns now, which I appreciate you and your audience, because I know there was an adjustment. I know you have a routine at
Oh.
9:30. The 10 o'clock does work. As you can tell, I'm able to be more attentive.
Good hunting the rest of the day, buddy.
Okay, thank you, Coach. Enjoy your day.
All right.
Trade well.
Adios, everyone. Hope we're adding value to what you're trying to